Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Crypto Crow, and all I'm going to say is I effing told you this was coming. This was happening. We're going to go straight to it. BlackRock CEO says the next generation for markets is tokenization. I haven't even read through this article yet. I saw the headline and I'm like, I knew it. I knew it was coming and I knew who was going to play a role in it. And I'm telling you that everything is getting lined up specifically for this. So we're going to take a look at this. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. Now, before I even go deeper into this, Larry Fink basically controls the world behind the scenes. Not even so behind the scenes. Larry Fink, BlackRock, if you don't know, you really should do a little digging on BlackRock. Between BlackRock and Vanguard, they own the majority, they control the majority of the assets, trillions of dollars in assets. They've been known to be buying up property all over the place, single family homes, all sorts of real estate. And they also run a system called Aladdin, which is basically an AI algorithmic driven trading machine that I believe to some extent controls the markets to a degree. And these guys are very much in line with the World Economic Forum and basically everything that's going on right now. This great reset, this whole machine that's in play right now. That's ushering in the CBDCs and that's bringing all of this stuff, man, how many years now, how long have I been saying this was going to come? Let's just get into it. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said, the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities, basically taking your NASDAQ, your S&P 500, all the traditional markets and tokenizing them all. It is going to happen. In the world of blockchain, tokenization refers to a process where a digital representation of an asset is created on a blockchain, authenticating its transaction and ownership history. This approach enables a different way to trade assets like stocks, bonds, real estate, or even alternative assets like land, wine, or art, allowing the transfers to be visible on a public ledger. Speaking in a New York Times Dealbook event, Flint argued that tokenization will provide instantaneous settlement and reduced fees. Despite these advantages, he added that the development of this type of technology wouldn't disrupt BlackRock's business model. Of course not. It would actually enhance it substantially, because if every transaction can happen at the speed of light. I'm telling you, and I've said this so many times, you're going to tokenize the traditional stock market. It's going to go into a 24/7 trading frenzy, and gone are going to be the days where the market's open at this time and close at that time. It's going to be like every other token, every other crypto out there. You're going to trade it 24/7. It's going to be a global market. And this is how I'm excited but scared. I really am. Alongside the promise of blockchain, the CEO also touched on several current economic issues, including the impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the changing role of China, and the global inflationary pressure that has impacted most developed economies this year. But it's definitely not just BlackRock that is betting on tokenization as the future financial services. Flow Carbon, a startup tokenizing carbon credits led by former WeWork founder Adam Neumann, recently attracted $70 million of investment from prominent investors such as A16Z, General Catalyst, and Samsung Venture Investment. In November, JP Morgan turned to Polygon to trade tokenized cash deposits in a Singapore-based trial via Onyx Digital Assets, a private blockchain created by the bank. The bank has also promoted the benefits of tokenization in some of its white papers, saying tokenization could potentially enable financial services to be delivered in a more open manner. Despite his bullish view on the future of tokenization, the CEO said he believes that most cryptocurrency-related companies are not going to be around in the future. Though he did say the blockchain technology will be very important. This is what I've been saying. Oh my gosh. the regulations that are going to be coming are going to wipe out a big majority of the crap coins out there. I honestly believe that when a crypto project fails, or they fold or they rug or whatever, I think these tokens should be cleaned off. But what I think should happen is I think that there needs to be an entity of some sort that buys up these crap tokens and merges them into one and keeps growing that, I don't know, call it an offset token, call it a whatever. Basically combining the failed valuation of these projects, but still ultimately making them tradable. But every time one of these projects is absorbed, it's absorbed into another or like one, like, I don't know, call it cleanup token. There was a crypto project years ago that I reviewed. I can't even remember what it was called, but that's exactly what they did. They basically, that was their goal. And they had kind of a tongue-in-cheek marketing about it, but ultimately they wanted to accumulate all of the failed tokens to rid the crypto space of all of the crap coins that were out there, all of the failed project tokens, all of that. We've got over 20,000, maybe 21,000 crypto projects in the space right now. And the majority of them, I would say, are probably worthless, but they're still tradable because of the speculative nature of crypto right now. And it's unnecessary. We don't need all that crap. And the thing of it is that when they do end up tokenizing the traditional markets, there's not going to be any space for that kind of garbage. So I believe that there is going to be a part of the regulation that is going to ultimately push a lot of these tokens out. If they don't serve a direct purpose, or a use case or something, they're either going to be classified as something that makes it difficult to be traded in this new market, or they're going to figure out a way to get rid of them altogether, which they should, quite frankly, because it's unnecessary for us to have so much bloat in the crypto space at this point from all the failed projects. But on top of that, when they talk about things are going to be more open and more transparent and so forth and so on. Absolutely it will, because every transaction will be, like every other transaction. See, right now, or on the blockchain. So right now, every transaction is ultimately, you can track it, but you can only track it to a wallet address. Well, wallet address are pseudo-anonymous in the sense that, I could have 50 different wallet addresses. You don't necessarily know which ones are mine unless I tell you. Or unless I've done something like, a lot of the new crazes are getting these like vanity URLs that are associated with your wallet address that basically say, hey, this is me, and I support this blockchain, or I'm, and that's all fine and dandy. But to me, that is one level closer to what I believe is coming next, which is going to be a national digital ID. And if not national, an international digital ID. And these digital IDs we're going to have some system, I'm telling you, that is going to say, okay, here is your international digital ID code, and you're going to have to assign all of your wallet addresses to this digital ID, or you're not going to be able to trade in this new securities market. And that is also going to be pegged to your CBDCs, which is ultimately going to be the new currency, which is coming, and it is happening. And mark my words, the only thing that scares me, I don't care about the transparency of transactions. I don't even care about them basically, figuring out like what my taxes might be based off of my inflow and outflow and where the money goes. I'm not even really concerned about that. What I am concerned with is what is actually going to happen with the USD, the fiat currencies currently sitting in bank accounts. Because when the introduction of these CBDCs happen, ultimately, you're not going to need all these banks. And if anything, these banks are going to be basically a point of conversion initially, I'm sure at some point or somehow. And what actually happens to the money? Is it just converted one-to-one? Or, as we've been seeing, wealthy men are the enemy today. Wealthy billionaires and millionaires, they're the villains. They're the bad people. Don't feel bad for them. They have an abundance. They can live and do whatever they want. They get on these private jets and create all this carbon emission, and they're terrible for the world and terrible for us. And why should they have so much? Who's to say that we're not basically establishing that narrative now? Because when the CBDCs come, all of these millionaires and billionaires that haven't basically put their resources into other assets outside of fiat currency ultimately just get wiped. And that does concern me, because I've worked really hard for my assets. I mean, you can say, well, if you've got over 100 grand in an account, maybe they put a freeze on your account and they're only going to allow you to take so much every month to pay bills or whatever. I don't know how these CBDCs and the transition from fiat to CBDCs will be controlled. When we're talking about a great reset, if everything we're seeing is being reset right now, does that also mean wealth? Does that mean that the wealth of the country is ultimately going to be reset as well, and basically all power go to the governments that are controlling the issuance of these tokens and the transition out of fiat and into CBDCs, and then everybody has to start again from the bottom and ultimately work their way back up, if that's even possible in this new fourth industrial economy? So those things scare me, and those are questions that have never been answered. I'm sure they won't be answered until it's too late. And my question is, where do you put your money? I don't want to go buy a bunch of bars of gold. I just don't. I don't know, because even once you have it, can you even sell it? How are people going to be locked in and pushed into this environment? If there was some clarity that said, listen, if you've got resources in banks, they're absolutely going to be fine, and it's going to be insured, and it will be converted, no problem. You're going to have access to 100% of your resources, whatever. But we're not seeing any of that. All we're seeing right now is these ideas. This is probably going to happen. This would probably be a good thing. And it's coming. It's happening. And so as we continue to move forward, I just turned my thing on. As we continue to move forward in this space, these are the things I'm looking out for. What are you doing? Like, are you wealthy? Where are you putting your money? I'd love to know. I mean, I'm looking at buying. I want to buy a business of some kind. You know what I mean? That's going to be more recession proof. I want to put my assets to work as I'm continuing to accumulate my crypto. And so, I'm open to ideas. I'm trying to find like a good crypto news site that I can buy that's not, in the, crazy amounts. I'm looking for ideas, and I'm looking on different websites, and I've got another video coming where I discovered something that's kind of scary, and I'm going to show that in the next video. So thanks for joining me. Crow your coins. I'm always right sometimes. And at this point, I was right again. So take it as you will. See you soon. Crow your coins.